Hey guys, welcome back to Angel Angela. And on this topic, you guys, I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about how narcissists make you believe that, good people are bad, you know. So the narcissist tries to get you to believe that good people are bad. Why do I say this? I say this because when I look back, even in my childhood, right? I grew up in a really religious household, like real Bible thumpers and, well known in the community, in the Catholic community, to the point where my grandparents, were getting certifications and certificates from the Pope. That's how deep in the Catholic community that they were. I went to Catholic school. I got scholarships. I had to work my way into getting scholarships, even though my family could have provided for me. Um, you know, there were, a lot of moments where I look back now, like at my childhood, and how a lot of people around me would think I was bad, right? They would be like, oh, you're bad. You did this, you're bad. But they never listened to me, or they never got to know the reasons behind the things that I was doing. You know, if your child does something, you're going to ask questions. You're going to want to know, like, why are you doing this? Like, what made you do that? Did someone tell you to do that? Or, you're going to investigate, you know. But narcissists don't do that. They just, they call you bad. Sometimes you couldn't, sometimes your parents or someone around you did something bad, and now they're labeling you as being bad just like that other person. And they're putting it on you. They're making their judgment based off of what your parents did because they feel like you're a version of them. So if they see certain characteristics in your childhood, they automatically feel like, you inherited these things, right? So I get it, but they're not always accurate. That's just an assumption that they're making, which, yeah, you know, um, you're gonna have a lot of qualities, but when you you know become conscious of things, that is, if you are capable of becoming conscious of things, because I feel like certain people do just, you can come from the same upbringing, but they're just not going to be conscious of certain things that you are aware of, and that's kind of weird, right? Why is your sibling a narcissist and you aren't, or sometimes you might feel like it has something to do with maybe the physical, or you try to make an excuse to why it is that you're different, or why you don't fit into a certain type of group of people. But I believe it's the level of consciousness, just being able to be, I wouldn't say like a genius, but you're the type of person that you might be a slow learner. You don't understand certain things because you need a real understanding of whatever it is. And I feel like with a lot of narcissists, the reason they become the golden child is because they do whatever they're told. And when it's working out for them, they're very like boastful about it. They're like, haha, bitch, in your face. You know what I'm saying? And when you go through certain things, you go through these things in a deeper level where you want to know everything. You want to know the whys of everything. And when you experience the feeling, the pain, the sorrow, the happiness, the joy, all these different emotions, You know, you eventually come to an understanding of these emotions and why these emotions are so great to have. It's funny to you sometimes when you think about moments where you were angry or upset, but then you realize there was no point. It's almost humorous to you because you were filled with so many different emotions. You get me? So, you know, you know what it's like to feel deep emotions, and it's not that you've become desensitized to certain emotions. You know you're still capable of feeling those emotions, but you actually appreciate them in a healthier way now. You appreciate joy, you appreciate happiness because you know what it's like to feel like shit, where you don't see the light at all. You're left in darkness. You know, so you get to go through things and suffer pain, but you're able to come out on top, and you're wondering, well, why does a narcissist go through pain and they just take it out on others? Why are they so emotionally immature? Some of them are even geniuses themselves. So you're like, well, I feel like, they're emotionally delayed. But then it took me a while to figure out the intensity of my own emotions. So you almost feel bad for them. Like, are they just an emotional person? What's going on? But it's almost like they're frozen, like they're stagnant in time. They'll talk to you about their traumas, but they're not really being all the way honest. They just want you to feel sorry for them. They're afraid of speaking their truth. They tell you half truths. You know, what I feel like when I look at my, like my younger years, every single time I freaking got in trouble, it was because a narcissist told me to do something and I just went ahead and did it. I remember when I was like in the third grade or fourth grade. I think I was in the fourth grade. Like, I just started fourth grade, just started. You know, during PE, when we used to run, I always wanted to keep up with the boys. So I wanted to be like the fastest one. But there was this guy and everyone liked him. He was popular because he was like the fastest one on the field, right? And I remember I bought some new shoes and they were like these, what kind of shoes were they? I don't know. I think they were like some Nikes, but they had this little like foam at the bottom. And when I would run, I felt like this like bouncy foam. I just felt like I had the fastest. I felt like I had the fastest sneakers around. And just because I felt the difference in those shoes. I remember those shoes and I still be looking them up. I need to remember what kind of shoes they are, but I believe there's some Nikes like back in the day, and they're like I don't know, there's this foam in it though that it was just bouncy and it was different for me, and I felt like I had super shoes. And I remember I was so focused that day, and I remember I was like, I'm gonna beat Hugo. His name was Hugo. And I was like, I'm gonna beat Hugo. He thinks he's like all that because he's fast, He's like athletic, plays soccer and stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna beat Hugo. Of my Nike bouncy shoes, and like passed him up. I like passed him up and he was like shocked. But it's crazy because it was all a mindset thing. I really wanted to beat him, and it really happened for me because I became conscious. I feel like that was one of my most conscious moments as a kid where I was like, I'm gonna beat Hugo. Like, I have Nikes on. I'm doing a whole commercial for Nikes, passed Hugo up, and Hugo was kind of shocked, and he was like, "How'd you do that?" I was like, "I don't know, dude. You know, it's the shoes. It gotta be the shoes." Anyway, I became really like, cool with the guys, but they were fucking with me all the time. They were messing with me. And I remember one time, Hugo said like a bad word in Spanish, and I didn't know what it meant. And I said it, and then I ended up getting in trouble, and I ended up in the principal's office. And I'm at a private school, a Catholic school, you know what I'm saying? So they take stuff serious. So my grandmother, like I told you guys, was very popular. Everyone knew her. She was like that girl, that woman, she was that person. Like, she donated a lot of money. So I got away with what I did just because of, I would have got expelled, but or suspended or whatever. But no, I think I would have got expelled because it was like serious. Like, people if you got into a fight, they would just kick you out the school. So everyone knew not to get into a fight. Like, it wasn't like public school, you know what I'm saying? It was like everyone was being sneaky about what they were doing. So I feel like he preyed on me. A lot of kids were preying on me because I was very good, and I was only innocent like that because I was sheltered from like music, from TV, from certain things. And my mom used to, come around trying to put me on to what was going on. But my grandmother would be like, "No, don't have her listen to that stuff. It's worldly stuff." So I always had this want to be a part of that world where, where everyone was like, into certain music, and I really wanted to be a part of that world, but I really wasn't. And I ended up getting in trouble, but like I said, I didn't really get in trouble. But that, I feel like everyone looked at me like I was bad for what I did, but no one cared to know why I did it. So I feel like a lot of empaths, you get played because the narcissist gets you to do certain things, and then you're considered the bad person, and the narcissist gets away with it. And when you realize what happened, no one believes you. They feel like you should have caught on to what was going on. So you almost feel like the narcissist is intelligent from a certain level, but that's because they've been manipulating, you know what I'm saying? But there's just no emotional intelligence. So once you realize the game, you don't know the rules, you're learning the rules. So then once you learn the rules and you have emotional intelligence added to it, you're above the narcissist. And that's why they hate you. They hate when you finally understand the game. And not only that, but you have the emotional intelligence. And once you do, you start to see that, like, for example, my grandmother talked my mom down a lot. Come to find out, the reason they talked down on her is because an aunt of mine, her husband cheated with my mom's friend, but my mom's friend was basically a family member. And she, before he even cheated with her, he already knew her and her family because they're like not just friends, they're family friends. So my mom doesn't have anything to do with it. It just so happened, it's like that's your favorite cousin, but they feel like if that's your favorite cousin, you should have known what was going on. But no, even though that's my favorite cousin, even my favorite cousin can withhold information from me. So why should I get in trouble if my cousin withholds some information from me? But they're so hateful to the point where I remember them calling CPS on my mom so she can get her kids taken away. And when CPS got there, they basically, they were like, who would do such a thing to my mother? And, everything went well. But my mother always wondered, like, who did that? And I remember they did it, but because they made me believe my mom was bad because she was into stuff that she was more free than them. They were more strict, Catholic, no emotions. They don't really hug, or they're just not emotional people. So because my mom is, you know, they narcissists like to make you believe that, you know, certain people are bad, but those are actually good people. They just happen to do bad things because the narcissist got them to do bad things, and the narcissist got away from it. And they can think like the narcissist, but they aren't narcissists. So, you know, when I got older and they started playing games with me, that's when I finally had to forgive my mother, because I knew they had a lot of demons that they were putting on her. They were always jealous of her. They were jealous that, you know, she got more attention, that she got rewarded more, that she, you know, even though she worked hard for these things, you know, they were always jealous, and they beat her down. And because she's such a good person, a family person, you know, person, she believed it, and she allowed these people to beat her all the way down. And then they climbed on top, and even when they climbed on top, they got greedy, stole, and lost everything. So, you know, narcissists get you to believe that certain people are bad, and those people aren't really bad. It's them, it's the people that pretend to be the good the most, a lot of times, that are more wicked, and they've learned to control, or they've learned to, for you to not, they've learned to control you enough for you not to see their wickedness, basically. So I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace, and your healing, you guys. If you guys want to support my channel by booking a session with me, my booking information will be on the description. As always, I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.